Once upon a time, there was a little egg. And this egg, he had green spots all over. And it wasn't just a normal-sized egg. This egg was 5 pounds heavy. And being 5-pound egg, it was actually smaller in volume. It only was 2 centimeters wide and 5 pounds. This thing was dense. This egg, it was hatched by this damn chicken one day, and this chicken couldn't believe it hatched this egg so small and so heavy. It's like, what's all this? What did I eat yesterday? Why is it coming out so small and so heavy? So the chicken, he plucked his beak at this little egg, and he realized he couldn't break it with his beak. It was almost like it was made of metal. He was so confused. I don't think there's a baby in there. And the chicken decided to try to move this egg, and it wouldn't budge. It was so heavy that this little chicken, he didn't have the strength to move it. He's like, I might need some help from the rooster. Hey, rooster, come over here. Come on, check out this egg here. So the rooster came over. From outside the chicken coop, he was up on the roost, squawking his head off. Then he decided to come on into the chicken coop here and decided to get a gander at this little egg here. It's like, I'll say you got an egg here, but it doesn't look quite right. It looks a little small. So he went down to investigate it, and he pecked it and pecked it. He pecked it so hard that he actually broke his beak. Whoa! What have you laid here? This ain't no ordinary egg. What are you trying to do, pull a trick on me? You done broke my beak. I'm sorry there, rooster. I was just as puzzled as you are. I don't know how this thing got out of me. And then the rooster said, Well then, my fair lady, we're gonna have to get more chickens over here to investigate. So the rooster gathered all the chickens in the chicken coop around this little egg here. Everyone was puzzled. Everyone was investigating it, and no one could move it. It was basically just sitting there in the nest and couldn't be moved by anyone. And one of the chickens, he wasn't the brightest one in the box. He actually put his beak around the whole thing and tried to lick it. He said, you know what? This thing tastes pretty good. So he started licking it some more. He couldn't pick it up, but he just started licking it. And then the rooster came in and was like, let me give a taste there. I'll tell you if that's any good or not. So he started licking that egg. And he was like, you know what? This thing is real tasty. I think I can lick this thing all day. And then everyone got a turn licking the egg. And then things started getting a little weird. After the last chicken done licked that egg, the egg started to glow. What? Well, the chickens went back to the farthest edge of the coop because they were so shocked at what was happening here. They thought they might have activated some sort of demon spirit in this egg here. And eventually, the chicken's vision went to another realm. They were no longer in the chicken coop. Their visions were from above the chicken coop. They could actually see the chicken coop from above. First, they didn't quite recognize it, because never has a chicken been able to see up from above anything. Chickens had lost the ability to fly millions of years ago. And then before you know it, the egg stopped glowing. And it actually got smaller. So small, it was smaller than the eyes of a chicken. So one of them roosters went up to investigate again. He thought, maybe this thing's actually small enough to pick up and eat now. I want me a taste of that thing. I want me a taste of that vision. So the rooster went up to it, and he decided to put that thing in his mouth. It was still really heavy, but he was able to actually scoop it up into his beak. And as soon as he swallowed that thing, his body sank right into the ground itself. He vanished in a hole in the coop from the weight of this thing. It's almost like he just got sucked into the earth, down into the very, very center. And the chickens were, oh my God, where'd the rooster go? And then one of them chickens decided to go in after him. It's like, well, that was my husband. I'm gonna go down there and rescue him. So she flew down into this hole that I just created in that chicken coop there. But she realized she couldn't fly, so she's just fallen. She's just fallen all the way down this hole. And then the other chickens in the chicken coop were like, whoa, I'm glad those two were gone. Those guys were just a damn mess. So all the other chickens just with their feet started covering up that hole with some straw and hay that was in the chicken coop. And they brushed their hands off and were, glad those two are gone. So back into the center of the earth, the damn rooster who had ate that egg, if you can call it an egg, made it to the center of the earth. If anyone knows their geology, the center of the earth is made of liquid iron. As soon as this here chicken reached that liquid iron, he melted. He actually melted into the egg itself. He almost collapsed into the egg. It's almost like this egg was starting to suck everything around it, including the core of the earth itself, until that egg went down to the very, very center of the earth. This egg was the epicenter of the earth, the center of the sphere. And then that chicken, who then come trying to rescue him, got sucked in too. They were both sucked in. And once that thing became the center, things started shifting up on the surface of the earth. It was almost like there was a shifting in the Earth's electromagnetic field. And all of a sudden, everyone's genetic code mutated simultaneously all around the globe. And all of a sudden, those chickens started growing big, big wings. They couldn't imagine it. All of a sudden, they had these huge condor-sized wings. They couldn't even fit in the chicken coops anymore. It was just all wings. And then they decided to stretch out their new powers, and they were flying all over the place. They got their vision. Their vision came true. But little did they know, there was more to that vision than what they could see. It wasn't just the chickens that had changed their form. It was every animal on the face of the earth. And little did they know that not only did chickens grow wings, but so did the wolves. Now the wolves were able to start flying around. And what are one of the favorite foods of a wolf? A chicken, of course. So all of a sudden these wolves with wings started swooping into the sky and plucking these things out of the sky with their teeth. It was a feast for the wolves. There was just chickens flying around everywhere and wolves just swooping in and eating and eating and eating. Until there were no more chickens left in that original coop. And in fact, the most profound change of all in this scenario was that the actual bacteria themselves started to alter their form. They became 1 billion times their size, to where they were actually as big as the chickens. So now all the bacteria on the earth became huge, and they started swallowing up everything, including all the flying creatures, like the chickens and wolves, until there was nothing left. It was just all chicken-sized bacteria covering the earth. And at this point, the earth could no longer support such mass, so it had to grow. It was almost as though that egg in the center of the earth started expanding the Earth itself, as it was the most dense bit of matter on the entire Earth and possibly in the entire galaxy. Aside from the black holes, of course. And at this point, the bacteria ruled the world again. There were no other creatures. And it was as though the whole evolutionary cycle started fresh from new. It was at this point, over millions of years, even a billion years in the future, only then did other life forms start evolving and gaining more complexity. It was as though that little egg that came from that chicken was the seed of a new Earth. And thanks to that dumbass rooster who ate it, that seed was able to get rooted into the very center of the Earth where it belonged. And a new Earth was created. A new scale of size and matter was established, from which all life could build upon from then on. This is a new cycle of the universe, one that we've never previously discovered. So the moral of the story is, if you ever see an egg in your lifetime that looks just a little bit off, it might be a little bit too heavy, be careful about swallowing that thing. You might get squashed into the very center of the Earth, but you will be considered a god, because you will have been the trigger for a new world. Do you accept that responsibility?